I think we need to flip the script a little bit on freedom and discipline. And what I have had to constantly come back to is pushing against pitting freedom and discipline against each other. If we're thinking of it like that, it's almost like we're misunderstanding the nature of both.
Welcome to Blueprints, a podcast helping parents thrive in today's demanding world. Join Greg and Cody as they explore God's big plan for families and the big job of raising kids.
Welcome to Blueprints. This is episode 7, where we are talking about discipline and boundaries. I'm Cody, and this is
Greg.
Very good.
I got it this time.
You did get it this time.
It feels just weird going, Greg.
Yeah.
You know, but...
No, it feels weird for me too.
Yeah.
It makes me feel better.
I'm not a fan of my name.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I'm actually not a fan of my name either.
Really?
I remember growing up wishing my name was either Peter or Thomas.
Peter? Really?
Yeah. There's journals where I've written my name as Thomas Kimmel just to try it out. But anyways, my name is Cody and your name is Greg, and that's where we're at. So we both grew up in the church, and I think when we were growing up, there was definitely a vibe that said, you know, we got to stay in line. You can't dress a certain way. You can't do your hair weird ways.
Right.
Like no tattoos, no anything like that. Like
I was devastated when I couldn't get a tattoo when I was 8.
Yeah.
I was going to get Michelangelo. Right.
Yeah. There's a reason why 8-year-olds don't get tattoos. It has nothing to do with legalism or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, so growing up, I think
right.
like there was a strictness in general in at least church culture. What's interesting, and the reason I bring this up is because I think that we're living in like a pendulum swing a little bit.
Right.
Where we've kind of gone the opposite way, where we don't want to be like overly controlling.
Right. And we don't in general.
Yeah.
Like,
but it seems like there's been a tendency to go the other way. And I think we've both experienced this in different places, like airplanes and grocery stores.
Yeah.
And things like that.
And you guys probably understand, like, when you've seen like kids have outbursts.
I mean, my kids never.
No, they always wear bow ties.
Yes, bow ties. Yes,
bow ties and bonnets.
My kids are basically only outbursts.
Yeah, so it's like parents don't not necessarily keep their kids in line, but don't teach them how to behave.
Yeah,
and so therefore the kid just gets to act the way they want to act.
Yeah. I think we're seeing that more and more. You know, my wife has been in education for a long time. We've noticed it. Like, it's almost like it's gone too far where parents are doing nothing. It's kind of like the Wild West.
Yeah.
Where, by the way, the name Cody would work really well.
Yes.
In the Wild West.
Yes, you are a cowboy. There was a moment when my kid was 3 or 4 years old and we were on an airplane and there was someone behind us with a kiddo and they were just yelling and screaming for so long, and the parents weren't doing anything. And my 3-4-year-old son, looks up at me and goes, "That kid's really loud." Yeah. And I was like, Yeah. But the parents weren't doing anything to intervene. They were giving their kid freedom to do this.
Yeah. We say this to say there has been a cultural shift that I think has made it really hard for parents to understand the role discipline should play.
Yeah.
In their lives. And so with that in mind, let's turn to our question.
Hi, I'm Allison. I'm a mom of 5 boys and we live in Georgia. Growing up, I had a very strict upbringing. Limited choices, not a lot of freedoms. I want my kids to have the freedom to choose how they spend their time, but I'm finding it challenging to strike a balance and understand how discipline fits into my relationship with them. Do you have any advice?
Allison, that's a really good question. I find myself asking that question too. As my kid turned 11 this year, we're trying to give him more freedoms and so that he can grow in responsibility and also so he can go have a good time. But we're also, how do we make sure that he's making good choices and still doing the right thing within that context? And Cody, maybe you could unpack some of this big idea that we're going to be talking about this week.
Yeah, definitely. First off, I want to say, Allison, as a dad of 3 boys, I have a daughter as well, but 3 boys, like, God bless you.
Yes.
5 boys.
Yes.
Like, you are running a camp. You're
A
not
true
running
saint.
a home. You're like, like it is like the food, the amount of food
Oh
you
my
have to be going
goodness.
through, all of that stuff. Like, I think that it is just incredible that you're doing that, and an incredibly important question in that line.
Right.
Because, like, as a boy dad, like, there is just something chaotic inherent in that.
Right.
And if discipline isn't a part of it, it's just, yeah, I mean, it's like scorched earth
Oh
in your
yeah.
home.
Yeah.
And so,
It'd be chaos, complete chaos.
So all it said, first off, shout out,
Yeah.
I get it.
You will be knighted one day.
Yeah, he will be knighted one day. I think to help out in that, I think the big idea that we can wrap our head around for this topic is that our kids actually need gracious structure in order to thrive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our kids need gracious structure in order to thrive. And really, where we get that is actually when we look at the way God deals with his children and deals with his family and deals with the people that he has called into his world. Like, I think of when God gave the 10 Commandments,
Right.
when
Yeah.
he gave the law, when he gave all these things, these were not meant to harm his people.
No, not at all. They were meant to free them more and more, and to how to love him more, how to love their neighbor more.
Yeah.
They're really freeing concepts.
Yeah. Well, and it's like he was doing this because he knew that if they lived within these boundaries,
Yeah,
they would thrive.
absolutely.
And if you think about it, like, so much of the Bible is about God giving boundaries and then disciplining his people in order to live within those boundaries more.
And the gracious thing about God is, even before the discipline would come, he would tell them what the discipline would be. He would say, hey, live within these boundaries, and if you don't, here's what's going to happen. And so there was always a blessing within the warning. And he would tell us and warn us so that we didn't have to experience that. But he is God and he is true to who he is.
Yeah.
So when the people would get out of line and start living sinfully and forgetting his ways, they would experience the consequences.
Yep. Yeah. And so, like, talk about God disciplines those whom he loves. Like, one of my favorite things that Jesus would say in response to when his disciples broke one of the laws of the Sabbath and they pointed him out, he said, that the law was made for man and not man for the law.
Yeah.
And the whole point that he's saying there is that ultimately the law was not put in place to squelch humanity.
Right.
And to harm people. It's not made to restrict us in a way that is against our flourishing.
Yeah.
The law was put in place, and the disciplines surrounding those laws were put in place in order for our flourishing, in order for our thriving.
And so it is with our homes. So we look at Allison's question, we're like, okay, what's a good boundary or boundaries that we put in place where our kids can actually thrive, not to hold them back.
Yeah.
Me telling my kid not to run in the middle of the street without looking both ways isn't holding him back from anything. It's freeing him to a place where he's safe and that he can flourish.
Yeah. So point 2 is, if we don't give them boundaries, the kids will feel less freedom.
Cody, can you help me understand that a little bit?
Yeah, because it seems counterintuitive. Like, you'd think that
I know what you're
less
trying.
boundaries, more freedom, but it's actually not the way it really works. Kids need a framework, partly because they don't know how to be adults. Like, they don't know how to manage this on their own.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot. They're really bad at being adults.
They're terrible at being adults. Their instincts are bad, all of that stuff. And so, if we don't give them boundaries, kids will actually feel less freedom. It'll cause anxiety in them.
Yeah.
It'll cause confusion in them.
Yeah.
For some, it'll either cause them to be chaotic and all over the place. For some, it'll actually cause them to shut down because they'll be just overloaded with options and scared to make any mistakes because they don't have a framework for understanding themselves.
And I just think of, if I gave my kid ultimate freedom without boundaries, I almost know what he would do. And I could see how that would lead to him not flourishing, not growing, not becoming more and more who God had made him to be.
Yeah. And that thing is Minecraft.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and
I
like
do
we've
not,
talked about Minecraft before.
There's a
It's
live
the
action
worst.
movie coming out, Minecraft.
No, what do they do? Like, yeah, you build a dwelling. Look at this dwelling that I have like 30 feet under the ground.
Yeah, this 3D
Yeah,
dwelling.
where
yeah.
goblins are trying to get me or whatever.
Yeah.
So one of the areas that I think this plays out in a very real way is around screen time.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, definitely.
Like the moment a kid sees a screen, that's all they want.
And it's what their friends are doing.
It's
It's
what
what
their
they're
friends are
talking
doing.
about at school.
You know, like
and-
I'll see people at like restaurants where their kids are just on screens the whole time. I'll see, you know, like
Oh,
everywhere
yeah.
kids are on screens. And look, my kids use screens. I'm not hating on
my
screens.
son does too. What kind of boundaries have you guys placed around that?
And I think this is one thing where, like a lot of parents, we probably did it wrong the first time. You know, I think there's always been this ebb and flow between you want to give them freedom and then you realize like, oh wait, they don't know how to handle all the freedom. And so
Right, 'cause they just jump right
They would
in.
just jump right in and do everything.
Yeah, full.
And you have to restrict like what they have access to, all those things. And so it's a complicated thing. And then we went the other way and we're like, you can only do it for, 5 minutes a day between the hours of 12:34 and like we got super strict and realized
Right.
like this is unmanageable.
Yeah.
This is causing chaos. Because ultimately what happened without clear boundaries and without a balance of boundaries and freedom, they just asked about it all the time. They made them anxious. It
can
made
I
them
do it? Can I do it?
frustrated. It made them bored. It made them like all these things.
In 5 minutes, you
And
could
they're like-
barely break any bricks in Minecraft.
Yeah, you can't do anything in Minecraft. Well, it was like seagull. It's like they were seagulls, and I was carrying like a sandwich. That's what it felt like.
Man.
Like the sandwich was free time, and they're
Yeah.
just cawing. And this is not something we came up with right away. This is something that kind of over time we developed. Is we had to balance between specificity on this is how long you can do screen time.
Yeah.
Like, and it's age appropriate. Our younger ones get a shorter period.
Yeah.
Older ones get a longer period. But like, we're like, no, like, I don't care if you're about to, beat the 10th wizard lord of Zelda train quadrilateral collateral.
You clearly
man.
know this video game world.
Yeah, like, I don't care if you're there.
His
If
name's
it's-
Ganon?
Yes. Calamity Ganon. Yes. Okay. I've heard talk, but like, if you're there, I don't care. You save and quit it. Like,
Yeah.
that's the strict boundary. And if you have, so it's been a balance of like, this is what this screen time will look like. We define
Right.
something that we think is age appropriate, that we think is fair. It still gives them enough time to enjoy it. But like if they go over it, like, okay,
Yeah.
you're
And-
going to lose more screen time tomorrow. You might lose it entirely. So we did that. So we defined what does screen time look like for them.
Yeah.
That really helped.
It does.
You
It
know?
really does.
But the other thing we did is we recognized like I not only am raising 3 boys and a little girl, but they're all very strong-willed kids.
Oh, yeah.
And so and like I was a strong-willed kid, my wife was a strong-willed kid. We raised strong-willed kids. I love strong-willed kids.
Yeah.
But they can be really challenging
Yeah.
to discipline. And one of the things we learned early on is strong-willed kids need choices. They need to feel like they're at least a part of the decision making.
That's good.
And so instead of setting like a specific time or something like that, particularly in the summer when like
Right. It's a free for
so
all.
much time,
Yeah.
we basically said, these are all the things that you need to get done today.
Okay.
This is what it looks like. You have to, whether it's a set of chores, you have to have read a certain amount of time. You have to have practiced your piano. Maybe it's like, hey, you have to have played outside for 30 minutes or something like that. We make a list. We make it very clear. Like, and if you take all day to do this, and by the end of the day, it's bedtime and you still haven't done all this stuff, you don't get screen time at all. Or if you get it done in 30 minutes, which I'd be shocked if they could, but if you get it done that quickly and you're responsible and you do it, like, we don't care. You can start screen time right after that.
Yeah.
And by balancing out the boundary with the freedom, what's crazy is it's like the seagulls forgot I had a sandwich. Like they stopped bothering me about it.
Yep.
And it's almost more like they finally then found the freedom to be like, oh, okay, I can just go outside. I'm not bored anymore. I'm going to go play on my guitar, or I'm going to go build with Legos. I'm going to do something like that. Once they knew where that thing fit in the overall structure of their life, it actually gave them the freedom to put their mind on other things.
Yeah.
And I think that to me is where that helped, and what I think really makes a difference for them. Because if we don't give them boundaries, kids will actually feel less freedom. They'll either be captive to their
devices
and
right.
desires or something
Right.
like that, or they'll be so all over the map that they won't actually be able to enjoy the things that they're doing.
Yeah. It'll put them in a place of like anxiousness of constantly, can I do this? Can I do this? When they know the structure of it. For us, the screen time, our kid is allowed to do screen time Saturday mornings. And it's mainly because I want to stay in bed.
Yeah. No, yeah. No, I get that.
So he used to come in and like wake us up, and when he got up, but that's like the one day a week we would get to sleep in and enjoy. And so I told him, you know what, Saturday mornings, you could do whatever you want. He goes, whatever I want?
Yeah.
Whatever you want. And we let him do that. And we give him the boundaries of, but you have to be done by this time.
Yeah.
You can't go over. And I've also just told him, I was like, honestly, man, there's just so many things I'd rather you be good at.
Yeah.
I get you want to play video games and I want to like hear you and honor you in that.
Yeah.
But here are the other things that we could do as well.
Totally. Well, and what I love is that it's going to look different for every family.
Absolutely.
It's going to look different for every kid. And probably different for every kid at different stages. But I think it's balancing that out and understanding that disciplining is an opportunity to actually give them more freedom.
Yeah.
Because the truth is kids don't know best. And like, that's okay. Like, I think there's this weird, I don't know how this stuff gets in the water of like kids knows best. Like, no, they don't.
No
kid
they're not
knows
meant to know
best.
best.
Like, we don't intuitively know these things.
Right.
You know?
It's our job as parents to teach them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what music is good. Yeah, but keep on suggesting Nickelback.
Dude,
which is the problem.
Millions of people can't be wrong.
Oh, but I disagree. Millions of people can 100% be wrong. Hopefully that helps in understanding really where we're going with this. And that's, boundaries are really meant for flourishing, not oppression. Third point is just that boundaries are meant for our kids flourishing, for our flourishing, not to oppress us, not to restrict us, not to beat us down. I think we need to flip the script a little bit on freedom and discipline. And Allison, I have asked the same exact question. I know that struggle. And I think what I have had to constantly come back to is pushing against that, pitting freedom and discipline against each other.
Yeah.
That if we're thinking of it like that, it's almost like we're misunderstanding the nature of both.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's God has given us a freedom within his safety structure so that we can grow more and more, so that we can experience life. So God wants us to have joy, and he puts us in a place where, hey, you stick within these boundaries, you're going to have joy. It's when you get out of the boundaries that you experience brokenness and hurt. And so stay within here. And so for us as parents, how do we put those boundaries in our home so our kids can flourish, so our kids can be free?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I think discipline is like one of those things that we're all scared of, and we don't want to overstep, and we don't want to kind of, like, I would say a lot of us are reacting to a really negative form of discipline. Like we grew up, many of us, in really strict homes or a strict understanding of like what all this stuff looks like and means, to the point where it's like, that was not good. No. But the challenge is by overreacting, we're almost creating the same problem a different way. Yeah. And we don't want to do that. So I'm a musician. I've been a musician my whole life. I make my kids take music. And what I love about music is that, to me, a perfect example of this merger of freedom and discipline and freedom and boundaries. You know, I studied music theory growing up. I've played multiple instruments, played in multiple bands. I think at first when I was learning music theory, I was like, this seems so counterintuitive to the creative process. You're basically saying, I can't play these notes together, but I can play these notes together. Okay. Or I can play this rhythm, but I can't play this rhythm if I'm playing them at the same time, or things like that. I would hear that and be like, that seems like that's just restricting my creativity.
And you're a strong-willed kid.
I'm a strong-willed kid.
Being told what not to do.
So I'm like, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do whatever I want. And then I would do it, and it would sound terrible. Like, it just would sound awful. And what I learned is, because of music theory, we have the freedom to make these beautiful things. And, and not only that, but we have the freedom to make these beautiful things with other people. Right. Like, music theory kind of becomes the boundaries, not only that we can flourish in, or that I can flourish in, but that we can flourish in. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's good. I love that example. And my kid loves soccer. He's in it. He's loving it. And we went and saw a professional soccer game a year ago. And he's sitting there and he's telling me all about the structure of the game. And he's like, oh, this guy's about to make this pass to here, here, here. And there's structure and beauty even in sports. Like teams are going to flourish when they stick within the structure of what the coaches outlined. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, like pass, goal. And it's, these structures are meant to set us free.
Yeah, exactly. And so just coming back to the original question, our kids need gracious structure to thrive.
Yeah.
And I think that as you are working to find that balance, remember that the goal of discipline is not to restrict your kids, but to give them the boundaries they need to be free. And I think the more we can do that, and more we can look at other families, talk to other families, I think you will find a lot of freedom. And actually, what I have found is I find a lot of joy in discipline. I have found that it's actually one of the things that I've come to enjoy the most about being a parent is the opportunity to discipline my kids, provide boundaries and structures for them to thrive so they can become ultimately the kind of people that God is raising them to be.
Hey, this is Sarah from Denver. Next week on Blueprints.
Okay, so, I know that we have kind of different upbringings. I grew up in the church. You did not grow up in the church.
I did grow up in the church.
You did grow up in the church. Hey, my name is Cody. What's your name?
I'm Greg.
Greg, it's nice to meet you. Start over.
Blueprints is a production of Grace-Based Families, a nonprofit that equips ordinary parents to raise extraordinary kids. Grace-Based Families makes free resources for parents thanks to the generosity of listeners like you and me. To join in the work of transforming generations of families, go to gracebassedfamilies.com/join.